Welcome everyone to Rodian Radio. Um, this is the Book of Boba Fett After Show, Chapter 6. From the Desert Comes a Stranger. Um, what did we watch? I'm here with my good friend Danny. And before we get this show off, Dave Filoni.
Well done.
Bravo, man. Bravo. Dave Filoni, I'm about convinced you listened to this show. Because we called Cad Bane live action like way before we even started this after show. If not like the first episode or the second, whenever the Pikes were introduced. And to beat it all, he shows up in chapter 6. And I know that they record this stuff way before, like they even, drop the trailer out and all that stuff. But they're constantly working on these episodes up until the day they release them.
Yeah.
This was the best Star Wars I have seen since Return of the Jedi. To me. And all right, so if this is your first time checking us out, we really appreciate it. You can find us over at our social medias on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube for our giveaway. If we can hit 100 subscribers on our YouTube, we're going to give away one of our Wolfpack hoodies. We are almost to the halfway mark for that. So we really appreciate everyone for checking us out and subscribing and following us. We've come a long way since the Bad Batch when I started this. Never in a million years would I thought I'd be doing a podcast talking about live action Cad Bane.
It took almost he came out in 2009 technically, so
yeah, a little
like
over
12
10 years.
Oh my god, dude, it took that long.
A little over 10 years. Now I don't want to spend this whole episode on Cad Bane, but Cad Bane was the mumbo jumbo of this episode. And they, I've seen a lot of people, with this perfect episode this is. I still see people complain about, Cad Bane's too blue. He's not blue enough. His hat's too small. Get out, man. Get out.
You're not Star Wars fan.
Get out. Get out. And Brad, I know you're listening to us.
I know.
If you're listening to us, this was almost as great as the holiday special.
he's flipping out.
Yeah,
he's
he
literally
just
gonna
flipped
give
his
us a
desk.
call.
He just flipped his desk. No, I'm just totally kidding. But we really do appreciate everyone checking us out. If this is your first time, if this is you're not your first time, we appreciate you all the same. We're grateful. Do have a little bit of a news before I want to get into the after show. First of all, I want to show everybody my custom. Brad, this is for you. Mm-hmm. Holiday special Boba Fett. Sorry about the lighting. I can't really do anything about that. But get a little bit of a closer view. Everything is customized by me. This is a Disney Store exclusive, the Select Series Boba Fett. So he's about 7.5 inches tall. His cape is custom made by me. Colors, paint, everything. If you want to see a better picture of him, you can check him out on my Instagram at galactic_customs with a Z. If you want to see Danny's personal Instagram, it is go ahead and give that shout out because it's hard for me to remember.
It is DCRZBOI_photos. Again, it's DCRZBOI_photos. I do appreciate the feedback that you guys give, and also I also like to hear like different opinions, like what you guys hear, and then just scramble it up and then create a story, because I'm trying to move towards like creating stories now in my photos, like beginning, middle, ending. Most likely I'm going to do like once a month so I can give you like better production or something like that, because I do want to give the best quality out there, and I do like put my heart and soul into it. Like I'm literally like the boots on the ground with the photos. So I do appreciate that you guys still follow and like the photos. That's great.
Yep. We and of course both of us on behalf of Rodian Radio, we really appreciate any feedback that we get. We want to hear from you.
We really do.
We want to hear from you. We want to hear your comments. Comment on our YouTubes if your podcast of choice allows you to leave a review for us. Leave us a review. We love seeing everybody's feedback, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. No
Mhm.
pun intended for this episode. No, I'm just kidding. I had
Yeah,
to throw that in there.
like honestly, like the feedback always helps. Like how
It
like other
does.
people
It
say
does.
like, oh like we appreciate feedback. Like no, like we need this feedback because we want to grow as a show and also like to
Yes.
help us like what to talk about more. And another thing that we can say confidently, we don't just speak shenanigans on this show. We like
No,
literally predicted the most
we
important
called it.
thing we literally did out of all the nonsense things we talk about. Like when we get down to the wire, like we got it.
Yeah.
Like I said, Dave Filoni is a fourth quarter man. He literally pulled the little sticky note out of his hat. Cad Bane. That was
Cad Bane.
that was literally, and then that was it.
Cad Bane. And another thing that I'm calling right now, when Kenobi, this is the news I wanted to talk about.
Mm,
So we got a release this past week that there's a new Kenobi comic coming out in May. Um, if you read the comics, there was a comic released a while back called War of the Bounty Hunters, and it's
okay.
about Boba Fett after he got Han Solo and Carbonite. It's about Boba Fett delivering that to Jabba, and he comes in contact with a bunch of other Star Wars characters, bounty hunters, and everything. Shortly after that, the Book of Boba Fett dropped on Disney Plus. All right, so with Kenobi dropping in May, I assume Kenobi is going to be in May as well.
Mhm.
So if they're following that, then yeah, we're going to get Kenobi in May. But something that I want to call right now on the Kenobi show, we are going to get Qui-Gon Jinn
Qui-Gon
because
Jinn.
and I'll tell you why.
All right.
In Revenge of the Sith, we hear Yoda tell Obi-Wan that he's, an old friend. You must learn something from an old friend. However he says it. I'm not sure exactly how he says it. Why else would they put that on there if Obi-Wan goes to Tatooine and learns to become a Force ghost and beyond death, be part of the Force? Why else would they put that in there if they're not going to show it in Kenobi?
That's a good point.
So I'm calling it right now. We will get Qui-Gon Jinn something, whether it's a reference, a Force ghost talking, a flashback, something of
Mhm.
of Qui-Gon, even if it's just a mention, like Kenobi, is in his hut by himself and he can't meditate. He's like,
I think I think the Kenobi series is gonna be like kind of like the movie Joker. Obviously not that dark, but he's gonna go through like
yeah,
psychological PTSD. He's gonna go through PTSD,
and
unfortunately.
it's going to be a standalone series. I think that series will definitely deliver to be a standalone series.
Like I feel like that show has a lot of weight, but I feel like they got it down. There's
Oh yeah,
like the fact that we're getting a Kenobi show is already
with
like
Hayden
spectacular.
Christensen as Vader.
We got Obi-Wan and Anakin basically. Like,
Right. I
yeah.
don't see why we can't do Clone Wars flashbacks.
But anyways, before we talk about Obi-Wan, but I just want to say I from the beginning I said the Book of Boba Fett was hot garbage, and then I started to realize they when they did episode 5 with Mando, I was like, this is no longer about the Book of Boba Fett. Like now this is about like what you were talking about, like the underworld,
Right. That's what
basically.
I
And
said. I feel like for anybody who didn't hear me say it, I told Danny off of recording that I feel like the Book of Boba Fett is not
it's not
specifically about
about
Boba
Boba.
Fett. I
Mhm.
feel like it's specifically about the underworld crime of Star Wars, and Boba Fett is their doorway into introduce this this genre of Star Wars. Because we've always seen, lightsabers, Jedi, Sith, Skywalker.
Mhm.
We've never really seen, gangster, spice run trades, all that stuff. And I feel like Boba Fett was the best way to put it in. That way you can bring in all of these other characters like Cad Bane
Yeah.
and make them work. Like I said, this episode of the Book of Boba Fett was the best Star Wars I've seen since Return of the Jedi.
I'd say it's the best since Revenge of the Sith. Like move like when I mean like that, I mean like release date, like movie wise.
Yes, I feel like, and this was the runtime of this episode was around 48 minutes, but man, it sure felt like an hour and a half.
It did. Dude, we saw the 501st. We
We
saw
saw everything, man. We saw prequels, we saw sequels, we saw original trilogy, Clone Wars, we saw, the book characters with Chrysanthemum and Cobb Vanth. We saw
yeah.
live action debut of Cad Bane. We saw Mando give a holiday special reference. Brad, I'm talking to you, to R2 when he gets out of his N1 fighter and says, "Hello, friend," because in the holiday special, Boba Fett calls everybody friend. So we've got literally everything. I feel like this was the love letter to George Lucas from Dave Filoni.
Dude, like he did it. Dave Filoni, that madman, did it.
And he did it
He,
right.
I don't think he missed a beat, and
No,
especially with
no.
the Luke scene and like Grogu. When I saw
Yes.
Grogu do like these like Bruce Lee flips, I was like, this is amazing.
This is pure Attack of the Clones Yoda.
Like this is like he's actually going through like training, and like the fact that like Ahsoka and Luke know each other is now
Mm-hmm.
it still blows my mind when she says you're
Yes.
so much like your father. Like I was
I
like,
feel like, and the first time I heard Luke turn over and said, "Will I ever see you again?" I was kind of like, that's kind of odd dialogue for Luke to say to Ahsoka. But the more I thought about it, Luke is probably lonely, and you got to keep in mind he's the only Jedi that's really worth. I wouldn't say worth, but he's the only Jedi that's willing to put himself out there as a Jedi in the galaxy right now. So
mhm.
he probably feels alone, and he's never, he's trying to teach the new Jedi Order, and he probably doesn't know what he's doing, and he's looking for somebody with more experience to help him. I feel like that's why he said that line to Ahsoka, of, "Will I ever see you again?"
I feel like how I interpret that was like he said that in the way of like because when I see Luke, he is a balanced
Yes,
like he's now like full Skywalker, and like the way I feel like the way he said that, it was a form of like not concern, but like showing his like like as a friend, nothing like he doesn't know what to do, because I feel like Luke knows what to do because he's like dedicated himself to become like a full-time Jedi.
yes,
Like in other parts of the galaxy, he's like they call him a wizard. Like that's like he's
wizard,
literally, yeah, or like something like that. And like
wizard. I'll tell you what was wizard this episode, man. It was wizard.
like again, like the whole scene with Grogu, I thought that was necessary.
Yes,
Like, and then the whole like Mando comes all the way and doesn't deliver it himself. Like, I thought that was a
I'll
good
tell you
point.
what. My wife watched the episode with me,
Hmm.
and she cried.
Really?
She cried. And my wife is not a big Star Wars fan, but she cried because one, she does not like Ahsoka.
What?
She does not like Ahsoka because Ahsoka told Mando basically, "Don't go see Grogu because you're gonna make it hard for Grogu." And I'm pretty sure that's what made her cry.
Hmm.
And she's like, "I can't stand Ahsoka. I wish she'd shut up." And I'm like, "But Caitlin, her name's Caitlin." I'm like, "Caitlin, you
Hmm.
need to realize she's not doing it just to be a jerk. She's doing it because she's trying to not create the next Anakin Skywalker."
Yep.
And that's why we're all about, Grogu does not need attachments. And to go with the attachments, I've seen people say, well, it's not fair. Grogu should have Yoda's lightsaber and the Beskar armor. But with him accepting the armor, that's him giving into his attachments, whether or not he stays with Luke. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like, an old family hand me down tradition. If someone broke into your house and stole it, and said you have to choose between this or this, and you're giving into the attachment from your old family relic, or you're giving into something new, giving up that family relic, when in all seriousness you could actually have both of them. So it's kind of like one of those situations. But I will tell you that Dave Filoni set this episode up perfectly for Grogu to not be at the Jedi Temple when Ben Solo attacks.
He just dips.
Yeah, he it gives him a perfect opportunity to get Grogu out of there, and that would explain why Grogu's not in the sequels. But with that problem, if Luke has to take Grogu back to Tatooine, then there we are. We've got Luke Skywalker in the middle of this gangster bounty hunter fight. Just think about that. Just think about that. And I don't think he's going to react. I don't think Luke would do anything to Boba, but I don't think Boba would do any I don't think Boba would take seeing Luke great. But I did hear another fan's theory that said, what if Grogu picks the armor, Luke for however reason can't take him to Tatooine, but he has to get him to Mando. And he's like, "Hey, I can't take you, Grogu, but my buddy over here can, and it's Han Solo."
Yeah, that could. Okay, I could see that.
And so you got Han in the Millennium Falcon swooping in the middle of this bounty hunter gang fight at Tatooine with Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, Cad Bane, Fennec Shan, Black Chrysanthemum. It's the perfect opportunity to put Han Solo in this.
What if yeah, that is true because he's like,
If
I
they can
got you
do
a
Luke,
ride.
if they can do Luke in a whole 35 minutes of an episode with up close dialogue, facial expressions, everything, why can't we have Han? Why can't we have Leia?
Dude.
This episode literally opened my mind to anything. I would not. I'm like, there's the possibilities for them to do this stuff is endless.
It kind of is because like if they can bring yet another animated character to live action, this is the
So
third time I
well.
think that. Yeah, I think this is the third time they did it. What was it? Bo-Katan,
Yeah,
Ahsoka,
Bo-Katan, Ahsoka,
and then
now
Cad
Cad
Bane.
Bane.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Like,
but then on the other hand, you say, Grogu chooses the lightsaber. Well, there he is. Now he's at the academy when Ben Solo shows up. So now you've got to create another route to get Grogu out of there.
they'll find something. I feel like Grogu is gonna decide to be a Jedi
Really?
because
Well, I'm gonna disagree with you as always.
I feel like it would be better in terms of the show because there would be controversy, and then that's good. Like, because there's gonna be like a lot of talk that Grogu should have done this, Grogu should have done that. That's why I chose that he be it because one, it's like when I was amazed that it was Yoda's lightsaber. I was like,
I've
okay,
seen
this
it.
is.
I've heard a lot of discussion about that. Yoda
I
didn't
was
have his lightsaber in Revenge of the Sith after he fought Palpatine. And then there's a comic where they're burning Yoda's lightsaber at the Jedi Temple after Order 66.
Mhm.
My thought in my head canon, until they prove it, is I feel like Yoda somehow found another kyber crystal
Yeah.
and he just constructed a new saber on Dagobah. I feel like that would be an easy route to take out of that. But speaking of episode 3, when we get, I feel like this is the first time we've ever known of Luke Skywalker being able to mind bend somebody with the Force. I don't know that. I know in the comics he's got a lot of powers, but I've never heard of Luke having the power to, help somebody remember their past.
There are some things that he does have the Jedi texts. Remember, like
That's true. He does. I
the
didn't think
Last
about that.
Jedi
The Sacred Jedi text.
text. I was literally gonna say that too.
So, but when we go into Grogu's flashback, if you notice like the subtle detail, there's a like a ring.
Kind of like a glass or
Oh
some
yeah,
sort. Like he's looking through
that's a
something.
POV shot of Grogu through his eyes. Is how I seen that. But in that scene, Grogu seems like he's hiding, and after the clones, the 501st clones, may I add, looked amazing.
They did.
Amazing. But after they kill the 3 Jedi, we see them, that captain or commander, whatever it is, he's like, point, he's like, go, go, go. He doesn't say over there's another one. So that leads me to assume that the clones didn't see Grogu. So where was he hiding? My theory, He was hiding inside R2D2.
Or what if he's like they pull that Harry Potter thing where like Jedi's can turn invisible?
No, no. It makes more sense for him to be in R2D2
See,
because
I can
the
counter.
clones would
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
look twice at an astromech.
The thing is, like, if because the timing has to be different because what I remember is like they attacked the Jedi Temple, right? But I don't think R2 was there because like they attacked the
It may
Jedi
not be
Temple.
R2. What if he's in
It could be
like
something
a
else.
yeah? What if he's like in a Gonk droid
Yeah, or
or
like
something?
they say like sometimes it's that old lady, that librarian.
Jocasta Nu.
Yeah, that could be it, but it's the possibilities could be endless because we know it's not the main
Oh my
characters.
goodness! I just popped in my head.
Who could
We
it be?
know that Kenobi and Yoda goes back to the temple after Order 66.
Uh-huh.
Who's to say Kenobi didn't find Grogu, gave him to Bail Organa,
Hmm.
and Bail Organa gave him to somebody that he knows very well. And up until Revenge of the Sith, till Mandalorian season 1, that's where Grogu's been.
But then like remember when they found Grogu in that like basically like uh what's that thing, like storage facility? Like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, so we know that Grogu's history is dark and he can't really remember. What if Yoda knew how to mine somebody's thoughts like that and he took memories away
so like he couldn't remember it.
so he couldn't remember it
So like it's more like to protect him.
to protect him? Yes, because we do hear Ahsoka
Like
say if he doesn't use his powers, he'll forget to use them. Like he'll forget he even
uh,
has them. So who's to say that Yoda didn't do that to protect Grogu? So technically, it was Obi-Wan and Yoda who saved Grogu from the temple.
uh-huh. Like
I feel like
that's
so many people listening to us right now are like, I never thought of that.
dude, like it's I can't even predict anything because like after this episode, like there's
All
just
we
so
think
many.
about is Cad Bane.
Yeah, literally like I still believe it's we explained it down, or we explained it in the other episode. Um, I said Bob or Cad Bane was gonna shoot somebody. Like
I didn't expect it to be Cobb Vanth.
me neither. I didn't expect it to be him. Like I
And
had
for
a
everybody
feeling.
listening, Cobb Vanth's not dead. He's coming back in the season finale. He got shot in the upper shoulder. He's just not going to be in the fight, but he's going to be there. And if you look at that Weequay, the bartender, they do a real lengthy shot on him looking up at Cad Bane with like a "you're going to regret this" eyes. Who's to say that that Weequay doesn't have connections to Hondo Onaka?
Hondo.
And we get Hondo Onaka in the
I
season
smell
finale.
profit.
Yes, just imagine. All right, so the big battle rages out. You know, everybody's dead. Decide who won, still standing. Next thing we know, we've got this guy walking in. It's Hondo Onaka. I smell profit. And he's like, looks over and he sees Boba and he's like, Boba. And he sees the slave one. He's like, as you take care of my ship for me, my old friend, or something like that. It's a perfect way to put Hondo Ohnaka in this. I mean, he's at Galaxy's Edge. Just go over there and borrow him for a day and go film with him and bring him back.
I don't know, but like I feel like this ending to the show is gonna be.
Well, there's two ways that it could be. If this is a one
Mhm.
season done and done, it's got to be huge.
Yeah.
It's got to wrap up Boba's story with the crime world, and it's got to go into Mando's story with season 3. If they do that, I'm calling it right now. You're hearing it on Rodian Radio.
You're gonna hear Chase's side.
You're going to hear my side from both ways of this, and then you're going to hear
Mhm.
Danny's. So
Mhm.
if they decide to do a one season done and done, the way that they can wrap this up, have Cad Bane kill Fennec. Mando tries to protect Fennec.
Mhm.
He fights Cad Bane. Cad Bane defeats Mando, takes the dark saber, turns around, and he sees Boba Fett. They have their standoff, like we saw in the deleted scene animation that never made it into Clone Wars. We see Boba and Cad Bane standoff. Because how can you introduce Cad Bane in a Boba Fett show and not have their standoff in live action?
So okay, so backtrack. So what you predict is that they have a standoff, like at the
Yes, and Boba wins. Boba gets the dark saber.
okay.
Boba becomes ruler of Mandalore. Because we hear in chapter 5 the armorers speak of the prophecy that whoever comes in riding the mythosaur will be the next leader of Mandalore, something like that. Boba's got a rancor.
That is true. They still need to use it.
That's what I'm saying. That would be the perfect way to give Boba the dark saber. Boom,
Mm.
Mando season 3. If they decide to do a second season of Boba Fett, this show will end on a similar note the way that the Bad Batch did.
Mm.
It'll be a cliffhanger. I don't expect Cad Bane to make it past this episode either way. I feel like they
Oh,
brought
I
him
don't
in.
think
He's done his
that.
Clone Wars. He's done his live action debut. He's going to have his big fight. Boom, dead. I feel like that would be the great way to send Cad Bane off in a show about Boba Fett. Just have the standoff. Either way.
All right. Is
There's
those
my
your
there's my
those are your
two
two?
predictions.
Okay.
Yes.
I have it go one way. I'd say the Book of Boba Fett. It's it's gonna be literally if the name of this next one is the good, the bad, and the ugly, something like that. I'm like I feel like how it's gonna be is Grogu comes back. Like I don't care. Like if we see Han, sure, whatever. Like blah blah blah. But
Sure,
like,
whatever. Bro, if we see Han, I'm gonna lose my mind more than I did with Cad
I'm
Bane.
I'll be like, yeah, I've seen him so much. I'm like, like this guy hates Star Wars. He's just here for the check. Like
I can
whatever.
never get enough of Harrison Ford in
Yeah,
Star Wars. Never.
I can. Like he
Never.
doesn't even want to do it. Even in the 90s, he said like, just kill me already.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because he had to go through the holiday special.
Yeah, like but basically like how I see is even though I said that I personally want Grogu to pick the Jedi way because I want to see like if they make a Luke Academy show, whatever. But
I really
I
don't care either way it goes.
yeah,
I'm gonna be happy.
I think regardless, I'm sorry, Grogu is just gonna show up at the wrong time in the wrong place. Like Luke drops off Grogu, they're like, have a good one, and then like he literally gets like mugged by Cad Bane. Cad Bane has probably gonna have to do something with it because he has no problem like kidnapping children since like
No, no, no.
like so how I see it is Mando talks to Boba, help me get the kid back, and then and then Mando has to sacrifice the saber, gives it to Cad Bane somehow, or like through a fight or whatever, and then Cad Bane then has the saber, and then Mando's like, "We got a problem. This guy has the saber." He
I can
like,
tell you right now, if that happens, I'll be happy with that. I
oh,
just know the only thing I know is I'm not ready for this next episode.
me neither. All I'm saying, and
I'm
then like,
not ready.
and then to wrap it up, they're gonna have a Mexican standoff, and like usually the Mexican standoffs are like 10 minutes long, like because they're just staring half the time.
Yes. Well, this one lasted about 30 seconds.
Is that because it was like the end of the episode, but like I feel like this standoff is gonna be pretty wild. Like Fennec Shan's gonna
No
get shot.
doubt. No
Fennec Shan's
doubt.
probably like gonna die or something. Something with her character is not gonna last. Like I just feel like her character is like expendable,
Mhm.
unfortunately. Even though I do like her character,
Well,
I
we got
just
to
feel
see them meet each other because they have history in the Bad Batch.
they do.
So
And
what if like Cad Bane comes in and he's like, last time I saw you, you was protecting that kid, that
now you're
clone
doing it
kid,
again. Now
and
you're
Boba
doing it
would be
again.
like, what did you say, clone kid?
Triggered. Like I'd say like it's a Mexican standoff, and I say the show should end like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Boba kills Cad Bane, Cad Bane kills Boba, because Boba will shoot the same spot he had left the dent, and that'll go right through his skull.
Cad Bane will too.
Yeah, like they'll both shoot each other in the same spot because they're that quick, and then the show will end like both of them dead. I
Man, that'd
want
be
both.
dark.
I want both. Yeah, it'd be excellent. It'd be, and then like, and then sure they can have like Boba needs to die. Like
Man,
that's
I
the
don't know.
only
If Boba dies, I might literally cry.
like Boba Fett needs to die for his character. Like his characters are is already legendary, but this would enhance it. Like if you've noticed with other films and stuff, like the characters like has more meaning to it when they die.
I know Han
Like
Solo did for me.
yeah, when he got like when I was like, oh, they actually did it. They killed him. I was like, he got his
Harrison
wish.
Ford with Harrison Ford was just like, just blow the planet up.
He's literally said, just do it.
And then here they are, watch him bring him back in.
As a force ghost or something. Yeah, I'd say Cad Bane dies or or both. I prefer both. Personally, I feel like one of them's gonna die.
Well, I
But
can
if they
tell
both
you,
do it,
go
if
ahead.
Boba Fett dies, if Boba Fett dies, that means we see more Cad Bane.
I can tell you who's not going to die in any Star Wars episode that he's in, and that's
Mando.
Max Rebo, my friend. Max
Rebo.
Rebo knows exactly when to get out because he did die in the cell barge, and any other time we see him, he's in the cantina there in Mos Espa. And now when the bomb comes in, he's nowhere to be found. I'm telling you, that dude is over everything that's going on Tatooine. He's behind it all. He's behind it all. He knows, man.
Oh my god, okay, but basically to wrap up what I said, in like short terms, there's just gonna be straight up gunfights, straight everywhere,
No, this next episode, it's gonna mess with my emotions
like
so bad.
and like I want who would I want? I want both of them dead. Like the way if the show ends like both of them dead, and then the final shot is a tumbleweed, and then the show just ends like that. That is the biggest.
That would be a good way to end that.
Like, and then like you just hear the quietness, and then like you see the helmet roll over, and then you see like the smoke, like you see the bullet go right through the skull. Obviously, like, and then they leave it like that. They don't say anything because you
I
don't know if
couldn't
he's dead
handle
or
that.
not. I would be like, Chase is gonna be mad at me because I manifested this. Like
I
I
will.
brought.
I will. I'm gonna. If that happens, whether you've seen the episode or not, you're getting a phone call from me.
I just want you to know, people, that this man is a diehard Boba Fett fan, and like, even though I appreciate Boba Fett, I think it's better that he's dead because his like people will like Boba Fett has so much history with Star Wars that he is like I honestly thought his character was cool in The Empire Strikes Back, but now that he's given more depth, like I thought the first 4 episodes were kind of
The first 4 episodes to me were the Book of Boba Fett.
yeah, literally, and then now it's like
Now
Star
it
Wars.
is
We're
the
in Star Wars. This is Star
underworld
Wars. This
Star
is Star
Wars.
Wars. This is Star Wars. Like it's people because people expect like if the title says this, then that's
Yeah,
what it should be about.
yeah,
But
yeah. And but I think it's better storytelling if you
mm,
branch out like they're doing here. Whether or not Luke Skywalker's name is in the title.
mm,
If Luke Skywalker has his own show, throw in Ben Kenobi, throw in Vader, throw in
yeah,
Palpatine for all that matters. I mean, he came back somehow. I
I don't
mean,
need to see more Palpatine. Like, he's
and
been in 9 episodes.
if we had a Luke Skywalker series, like for example, the Ahsoka series, if we
Mhm.
got one episode just on Barris Offee flashbacks, I'd be totally fine with that.
Yeah, like at this point, like Star Wars literally broke the sound barrier, I'm sorry, let me
Dave
rephrase that.
Filoni
Dave Filoni
broke
broke
the
the
sound barrier.
sound barrier. Like it's it's the fact that they again they brought not that we hyped it up like I'm like glad that they get Cabot, but they could have done anybody else.
But they didn't.
Okay, they did Cabot because it was the
Just
right
think about
choice.
it, dude. We started off with Cobb Vanth. Then we went right to Mando. Then you get R2. Then you get
Luke,
Ahsoka. You get Luke,
Luke,
Grogu. Then you switch back over to Tatooine. You get Black Chrysanthemum. You get Boba Fett. You get Fennec
500,
Shan.
501st back in the
You get
visions.
the 501st. You get Jedi from
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith. Then you go back to Cobb Vanth. You get Cad Bane. And then at the end of it, you get Luke and Grogu again, all in one 48-minute episode, directed by Dave Filoni. And this episode, I think this episode is the first episode that Jon Favreau did not write. Well, didn't get credit for writing alone because Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau both got credit for writing this episode.
That's crazy, dude.
And you can tell, dude, that they know what they're doing.
Like I have for some reason I feel like this last episode needs to set the tone
This
because
last episode is going to be directed by Robert Rodriguez.
he ends it because Robert Rodriguez did the episode to introduce Boba Fett and the armor, right? Remember
And
when he
look how
smashed the gun?
everybody acted with that episode.
Like the music.
And he directed the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett and the
That's
third episode, which
so
everybody hated.
his
but
style. I can't really
That's a
determine.
hit or miss guy, and most of
Mhm.
the time he's a hit.
Yeah, I think he's what was it? I think he's like 66% a hit.
Yes,
He's more than half,
yes,
definitely.
more than half. Because I remember in the Mandalorian season 2, when it introduced Boba Fett's comeback, and he was the director of that. I was on the edge of my seat the whole last half of that episode, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm seeing Tim Morrison as Boba Fett.
All I think, have you seen the memes where like get behind the scenes where he has the cowboy hat and he's pointing his guns?
Yeah.
I think no, this has to be a Mexican because they like.
How can you put Cad Bane in here, who's a character that's got so much history with other characters in the show,
Yeah,
and not have them have a catch up scene?
like he literally is the like Star Wars Clint Eastwood.
He is the gunslinger outlaw of Star Wars.
Like,
And that's another thing. I would have loved to see Cad Bane have a toothpick and spin his guns after he shot Cobb Vanth. But you got to take in the makeup, the effects, and everything. They
and, like,
probably couldn't have done the gun spinning with those latex fingers that he's got. And the toothpick, the gaps in his teeth were probably too big. Maybe it didn't work with it talking.
A lot of people are comparing him to, I don't know if you've seen this is a really old Clint Eastwood movie. It's from the early 90s. Like he gives me the Unforgiven vibes where he like Clint Eastwood has done a lot of spaghetti movie. Like this is a background, like, so Clint Eastwood has done so many spaghetti western movies that he did this one movie in the 90s where it was basically a sum up of all the movies he did. Like he's an old man now, so he's more experienced. He's like,
I know what you're talking about.
Like this is what Cad Bane is. Like that's why he doesn't do anything fancy, because he's like, it's just straight to the point, because it's all like
back to what we said in our past episodes, we don't know anything about the Duro species. And if you want to get technical about it, he's like in his 70s, but as a Duro species, he could be like Yoda species.
Like he's 30.
Yeah, he could be 150. And I mean, look at
2v1.
Chewbacca. Chewbacca's like what, 250 years old by the time we get to the sequels?
Yeah, and also Cad Bane didn't even hesitate.
No.
He did not lose. He did not
No, and he had Deputy Scott, by the way, for you who don't know. Deputy Scott was the deputy that he shot like 5 times, point blank, after he shot Cobb Vanth. But he pulled out his blaster and he shot Cobb Vanth and the deputy
at the same time,
over and over and over, before the deputy even had his gun drawn.
Like he didn't miss a beat. Like
he didn't miss a beat, and he didn't miss a bullet either.
I am amazed. Like we got, like you said,
what I want to know though,
sequels.
Did Cad Bane literally walk the whole desert just to make an entrance like that? Because
I
told my wife, I was like, did this man really just walk this far? Like, where's his speeder?
Dude, he's a madman. That's literally like, dude, Cad Bane is literally walking death.
He is.
He literally is the Grim Reaper. So
that's
what makes it even I think that's what makes it even creepier, because like he just comes from the sand. He's literally like an entity of like
and the voice, man, they got Corey Burton.
Yeah, if they messed up the voice, I would have been like,
well, his voice was a little bit more deeper and raspier, but I felt like that's an older Cad Bane.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yes, and it's just perfect. It's just perfect.
They got the guns, the outfit. I don't care what people say. I think that's just ridiculous. That
you best bet when I get the Black Series Cad Bane, I will turn him into the Book of Boba Fett version.
Oh, dude, I have the other one, and like, his hat. I think what I like the most is that his hat you can take off and you can like tilt it and stuff. And like he has a lot of accessories that are really, really good. If they have a Black Series of this version, I'd probably get it.
Oh, I would get it too, but good luck getting it.
The place I went to selling $65 like a freaking figure, man.
I
Like,
would
damn.
probably pay that much for this figure though.
This one maybe because I saw one for the GameStop exclusive, the Commander one, the Commander boss, but at
The
the
bust,
holiday special,
Commander bust.
Commander bus, yeah, and in the holiday special one, I saw that with my own eyes, and I was like,
Why would I
Chase
buy
would.
that one
Hey,
now when
you,
I
if
have
you
it?
were there with me, you would have bought it. I'm pretty sure you would have.
I would have. I love it. You know, like you said, I'm a diehard Boba Fett fan. But I can tell you one guy who's a way bigger Boba Fett fan than me, and that's Michael Havens over ICC Con.
Mhm.
That I'm going to be attending in Nashville. Go check that out at ICC Con. I think it's Nashville.com or may just be ICCCon.com. Anyways, go check that out. And Michael Havens will be on our Book of Boba Fett season finale after show with
Mhm.
us to talk about the con and Boba Fett and his thoughts on the show. So make sure you tune into that. He's a great guy. He's probably the biggest Boba Fett fan I've ever met.
I can't imagine somebody bigger than
If you wanna check out the interview that I did with him back in December, that's on our YouTube. It's a full exclusive interview of his whole collection room, and he's got some of the craziest things that I've ever seen. He's got like, if I had to take a guess, he's probably got 150 just vintage collection Boba Fett's.
Dude, like I usually have like a lot of like predictions, but now it's like anything can go.
No
Like,
doubt.
dude,
No,
this
after this
last episode,
episode, I'm not.
like
There's no limits on what they can do.
like Cad Bane. I'm sorry, like there's a lot of amazing things that happen in this episode, but like what literally like sent me from planet Earth to like Pluto was seeing Cad Bane.
You just upset a lot of people about the Pluto is a planet, not a planet, Joe.
Oh my
But
god. Oh, good. I
yeah,
thought Pluto because it's blue, and I'm like, Cad Bane's blue.
yeah,
Like,
we're not here to talk about the solar system, but
all right. Well, this blue,
this
like that's
I
how far the
said
radius was. Like,
when we had Ray Kinnix. Go check that episode out too and follow her on our Instagram. She's a great Ahsoka cosplayer. She's got the new fan film coming out pretty soon too.
you know, you clones.
Yes, got clones in it.
Cloners.
Yeah, cloners. So what I was saying though is um when we had Ray Kinnix on here, I said I'm gonna set myself up to record myself reacting to these last three episodes because there's gonna be a Luke Skywalker moment in one of these episodes.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, the Dave Filoni episode gave me a reaction better than the Luke Skywalker reaction in Mandalorian. And it was Cad Bane. I never would have imagined me saying Cad Bane's reaction was better for me than Luke Skywalker.
It honestly was like I felt the same way about that too.
For
Like
everybody listening and
I
watching,
I
when
was
Danny I'm gonna tell everybody what you did. So Danny sends me a message and says, when I seen Cad Bane, I slammed my hand so fast and hard on my desk that I broke it or dented it.
I did
Dented his desk.
because I said Cad Bane.
We called it on Rodian Radio.
Oh my god, dude! I was
So
like,
it was awesome. But I've also seen something that I've been seeing this thing float around. It says that Darth Maul was teased in this series. Of course, Darth Maul, the cockroach of Star Wars. You can't kill him.
that's how? What? Where?
Well,
I
they
didn't catch.
said in one of the episodes,
Mhm.
there's a music sequence and blended in with one of the tracks throughout the series. I'm not sure what show, what segment it was or anything, but they said in a brief second, you can hear the solo Crimson Dawn uh, theme, I guess, when Darth Maul appears blended into the music. And they're
Mhm.
saying that was Darth Maul's tease about him being in this series. If there's one character in the season finale that I don't think is going to show up, it's
Is
going to be
Darth
Darth Maul.
Maul?
But
Dude,
then
he's
again,
dead.
who knows what could happen? He is dead. Yes,
Obi-Wan himself, like
killed him.
he buried him. Like,
Killed him. But you know how fans are, oh, Darth Maul, it's Darth Maul. Darth Maul's
he
behind
wants
everything. Darth Maul. No, it's Max Rebo. I'm telling you.
Max.
Max Rebo's behind
Yeah,
it
it's
all.
just I'm this episode, like if they had like a Blu-ray version of this episode, I'd probably get it or something like
Dude, have you seen the fan poster that's been made?
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Is it that one?
No, not that one. This one is a
Uh,
Star Wars movie poster, but it's got every character from this episode in it.
dude,
It's like a legit Star Wars movie poster where it's got the collaboration of all the characters. Some are
yeah.
bigger and large, some are smaller. And in the
Mhm.
middle, it's got Boba Fett, but it's got Cad Bane and Mando and all these characters on it. It looks like a legit movie
Like what
poster.
blows my mind is that we went from, writing like a beta
Yeah, like a
to we went from a joke of a show
to a
like
Skittle game.
to like to the Power Rangers,
Yeah.
and then
3 episodes later,
like
it's the best Star Wars ever.
I think from now on I'm just gonna, just tank. I'll just tank it, like tank the first episodes if they
From
suck.
now on, man, anything that you see Dave Filoni's attached to, just tank the whole thing until you get to Dave Filoni's episode.
That's it. Literally, that's literally what we wait for. Like I'm still shook because I thought about it like when I was at work, when I was driving
I've
from
been thinking about it ever since I've seen it, dude.
like
I can't stop thinking about it.
I legit been thinking about what kind of photos I want to take with Cat Bane now, because like I never thought I would ever see him again. Like
To me, I've enjoyed this series every episode. I've given it a 9.5 out of 10
I
for
personally
me.
didn't, like, because I was like I stuck through it because I knew Dave Filoni is, like I said, a fourth quarter man. But like
I'm just gonna have to wait for the finale to give my final
I can't like
overall.
you're probably gonna see it before me because I'm gonna watch it probably that morning.
You have
Or
no doubt I'm gonna watch it before 8 a.m.
like I'm probably gonna, because I work, so I think I'm gonna watch
Oh,
it
I
like,
work too. I'm gonna watch it when I'm at work.
dude, no, I can't. I need to be like, I need to sit down. I need to like take it in because I cannot work. Because if something happens and like my mind's blown like this cabinet, so I don't think I can function.
I'm
Like
just telling you, if Boba dies, you're never being on this show again because it's your fault.
Hey man, that's a good way to go though.
Yeah, it really was. I
He
would be
didn't
happy with that too.
like he it's a good way to end the character. Like he
It
kills
is.
Cad Bane too. Like think about it. Like how did Boba Fett died? Oh, he died to Cad Bane. They killed each other.
That's a
And then
great way to.
when you think about it, Cad Bane has killed Jedi's. Cad Bane has wielded the lightsaber. Cad Bane,
Why can't he have the dark saber?
yeah, Cad Bane is a gangster. Like
I would love if we saw Luke versus Cad Bane, lightsaber versus dark saber. That's my
I wouldn't
reaction
even
right there. Like
I wouldn't
I
even know
can't
what I'd be
even think of
watching.
what to say right
What you
now.
just said right now, I was like, we are on another level, people. we are
Just
on
think about that. Like, what if
we are on a level.
you know what we should do? We should write our own what if Star Wars.
Dude,
Like
we
the
would
Marvels got
have
the what if. Let's do our own what
we
if
would have
Star Wars.
insane ideas that
We would.
we would upset so many people, but at the
We
same
would.
time they would agree with us.
We would. And we'd be called fan service boys all over social media.
Oh my god.
But back
We
to
literally
the
said
Luke
Cad Bane.
thing about the CGI, they actually got a guy, the actor that did that. His name was Graham Hamilton,
Mhm.
and the guy who did the acting for Luke Skywalker in Mando season 2 finale, he was actually the X-wing pilot in Chapter 5 talking to
Yeah,
Mando.
I noticed that.
That guy was the guy who did Luke Skywalker. So in this Boba Fett show, they got Graham Hamilton, and I pulled up his comment that he just did like yesterday on what it felt like for him to do this, and he said he being with Mark Hamill was one of the most magical, fulfilling experiences in his life, and he gave a list of everything that he loved doing it, and I wrote down a few here. He said playing with Grogu all day was a highlight for him. Geeking out with Rosario Dawson was a highlight for him. Who wouldn't love to geek out with a Rosario Dawson?
That's literally Ahsoka.
And then, hearing Mark Hamill's stories and a fist bump with Grogu, which even made it into the scene. When Mando looks up at him and you see Luke like put his hand down and Grogu like bumps his hand.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, dude, man, that's just heartbreaking for Mando right there.
Like it's, Star Wars is heading to such a different direction now.
It
Like
is. It is.
like it is like when we talk about Star Wars people, the ones who aren't Star Wars fans, like this isn't like your
And even if
typical.
you are like, even if you are a Star Wars fan, but you're not like us, we all
Yeah,
still enjoy it on the some, and we
yeah,
all
like
connect with each other on some fashion. Like with Brad last week, man, we connected over
yeah.
how you know each movie has their flaws, but
One
we
has
also
more than other.
disagreed.
One has way more than others.
Hmm.
And we already know what that is, but we don't
And
want to get into a 30-minute conversation about that.
yes, and the next
We're
time we
saving
talk to
it. We're
him,
saving it for that. We're saving it.
yes, the next time we talk to him, we will come with heat.
We're coming with the. I'm coming
Holiday
in
special
with the
is the
rocket.
best.
No,
Holiday special is the best.
he's gonna rip his hair out when he
He
hears
is.
that.
But
I still say Last Jedi sucks. Like,
no doubt, the worst Star Wars movie in my opinion is Rise of
is Rise of
Skywalker. I
Skywalker.
agree
There
with
we
him
go.
with that.
So I don't understand. Like he says, Rise of Skywalker sucks, but The Last Jedi doesn't, even though they're basically one really, really long movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I see that.
or they're two different movies because Luke is a hermit, and then in Rise of Skywalker, he was like, I was wrong. I was
But as
like,
long as we got Dave Filoni connecting dots like this, I feel like it
mhm.
would make more sense.
He's literally like rebuilding the bridge that
Yes.
Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson destroyed.
And I'm sure there's a lot more people on that train, not just those three that had
Yeah,
part in that.
like they already knew this was going down the toilet, and they just wanted to make a profit
Well,
out of
from the mouth of George Lucas himself, it takes 3 years in between each movies, 9 years total to make a trilogy. Disney did it in 6,
it. Yeah.
and you see the results. Disney's sequels did not have as big of an impact as George Lucas'
Hmm.
other 6 movies did. Even though the prequels got a lot of hate, I feel like
But
people
I
appreciate the prequels more than they did when they came out.
and another thing like I wanted to mention is that Dave Filoni is not also a good writer. He is also a perfect. I won't say perfect, like a really, really, really good director.
And he knows Star Wars.
Like the camera angles that he had, like when he had those super close-up shots of Luke, that is a very, very risky thing to do because at any like frame or moment, it could look horrible because of this, like the CGI. Like
But the
the CGI is not
YouTube guy
perfect.
they got, I think his name is Shamook.
Yeah,
He does the deep
like
fakes. Lucasfilm hired him like
mhm.
a year ago. It's paying off.
Like this episode could have been a movie, and like I would have
Yes,
accepted
it
it as
felt
a
like a
story.
movie.
Like it's I think this episode probably reunited the prequels and the original OGs like
We'll say the
together.
first shot of Cobb Vanth when we come out, we see his blaster on the holster on the hip, looking over
Mhm.
at the Pikes. That shot of him walking in is actually the same shot George Lucas did with Han Solo in the New Hope Special Edition when he
Mhm.
comes and sees Jabba in Tatooine at the hangar next to the Millennium Falcon. That same
Yeah.
shot was with Solo, and Dave Filoni took it and put it in Cobb Vanth. Like that is something I never would have even thought about doing if I was in his
They
shoes. But he
they
learned
need to
from
give him
George
a movie
Lucas himself.
contract. You know how pumped I'll be if he had a trilogy contract, just him.
That'd be bigger than Spider-Man No Way Home.
I think that'd be the most anticipated Star Wars movie ever to be released in the
No doubt.
history.
Especially if we saw co-producer George
John
Lucas.
George co-producer or and then John Favreau executive or like something
If
like that.
that was a trilogy, I
I
I'd
would probably
probably
buy
pass
all the
out.
merchandise. I'd
I would
probably
pass
buy
out. I would pass out.
because we know, and it say like they did a trilogy of like even like before or
They
like the
could
old
pick
Republic.
anything,
The old Republic would be amazing.
anything and make it work.
Like I don't
I
know
feel
how.
like John Favreau and Dave Filoni sit down and plan this stuff years before they plan to actually develop it.
And I feel like
That's why it's so good. Like I feel like right now, Dave Filoni has probably got 3 episodes of the Ahsoka series
Mhm.
wrote.
And then Bryce Dallas Howard did really well too with the
She
episode.
is. She's a very good director also.
Yeah. Like it's just I was like, I'm just thinking
Look,
like
we're still speechless on this episode 4
literally
days
it
after.
went from writing like a bantha to like I would not stick or like
Oh,
whatever.
man.
Yeah, literally to that. Like, and he's like, I wouldn't stick my nose in like he basically told him to like, like I don't know if I should say like he said like to like to F
Mind your
off.
business. Yeah.
Literally straight up like and then like the look like like when they showed the upshot of his face, I was like, they got it. They got it.
And they nailed it. Nailed it.
I was like, I'm like, am I seeing this with my own eyeballs? I literally like refreshed it like 10 times. I was like, am I really seeing this with my own eyeballs?
Yes,
Like,
I've
I
watched
was
this
like,
episode. I've watched that scene now probably 6 times.
like
Slow motion, regular motion.
like you were pumped, right? But me, like I had the same energy you had, but I couldn't even say a word.
I couldn't either, man.
Like
I couldn't
I
either.
couldn't even text you, and like I texted you like after like my brain could process words.
You didn't text me, dude. You literally sent me audio messages.
I didn't even I thought I texted you, like I literally had like that's when I like all I did was just held the button and I literally said like the first like I didn't even after the episode I didn't even talk for 10 minutes. I was just sitting there and then
Yeah.
like I the first
Think
thing
about
I
me,
did
man. I watched it while I was at work. Do you think I could go do work after watching something like that?
dude,
No, man. It's
I
like I
like
said, it was great. It's perfect. Perfect.
Dave Filoni's got it. Like no, there's no way.
Again, Dave Filoni. Great.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So your prediction, like so good. Like are we almost at the hour mark or like are we
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes left. We're gonna have to
Alright,
wrap
so
it up.
basically your prediction was Han Solo Chewie show up and it's a whole like
Either that or
like
Boba will end up with the dark saber.
that. I like that. I like the second one with the lightsaber. He like regardless, we both agree that he'll have the lightsaber
Dark saber.
or dark saber. Sorry, dark saber. But I feel like with me, he'll have the dark saber, right? And then on his dying breath, he gives it back to Mando.
That would still put Din Djarin in the first place.
Yeah,
I don't want the dark saber.
he literally it was meant for him to have it because regardless of who has it, it'll always lead to him.
Right.
Like
Right.
the whole I need that Mexican standoff. I need that 10 minutes of them staring at each other.
Me
My
too.
heart will race like
Me too.
literally like because Hunter, it made me feel like when Hunter 1v1 Cad Bane, he was a clone too. He was like when he says once you figure out one of them, you figure out all of them. What's not to say he's gonna pull the same thing and Cad Bane's gonna shoot him straight in the skull. Like
We're
and then
gonna have
if
to
Robert
find out next
Rodriguez, because
week.
Robert Rodriguez is really violent, like
He is. He does. He's got a lot of violent
like
shots.
I'm gonna see it like we're not gonna actually see like a Quentin Tarantino like the bullet go right through his head and there's blood everywhere. We're gonna see the shot happen, point to the feet, watch the bodies drop, helmet rolls over with the smoke, and you can see he hit the same spot and you can see a big hole right through it.
Right.
And then either that's how the show ends or there's a little bit more and like that's it. But like
Yep,
if the
that's
show
it.
ends like that, like all quiet, like it like intense music builds up forte, and then boom, both dead drop, and then you just hear the wind and the tumbleweed, and then you hear the sad verse of the Book of Boba Fett song. That's
There
it.
you go. That's it. That's it. That's
I
gonna
would
be it. That's gonna be it. But I can tell you one person that's
like
not gonna be in the next episode, and that's Max Rebo.
Max
But this is it
Rebo,
for
Max
Rodian
Rebo.
Radio on the Book of Boba Fett After Show. We appreciate everyone
Alright.
listening.
Be ready,
We have
gentlemen.
hit our time mark for the night, and we will see you guys next week on
Have
the
a good
Book of
one,
Boba
guys.
Fett finale after show with special guest Michael Havens. Be sure to check that out. Find us on our TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. What am I missing? Twitter. Follow us on there for other giveaways. And until next time, Max Rebo will not be making an appearance on the next episode of Rodian Radio. So until next time, may the force be with you on Rodian Radio. I'm Chase.
This is Danny.
And we are out.